Greetings, gamers! While many people are excited for the potential of new story updates to Pirate101, many players are also asking for new side systems to be introduced into the game. Wizard101 has many side systems such as crafting, fishing, monstrology, gardening, and a couple others that really add to the replay value and extending game time once you've finished up the main story and grinded out all your gear. So today I'm going to be talking about some potential side systems that we could see come to Pirate101, how they'd be implemented, and even what could be ported over from Wizard 101. So let's dive in. The first side system we're going to talk about today is the cargo system, leaked by the Atmoplex back in April. I'll link to the Twitter thread down below, but essentially, cargo was planned and nearly implemented around 2013, but never released due to unknown reasons. This would add a new grid-like inventory called the cargo hold to your ship. You'd be able to buy or sell cargo from cargo vendors placed all over the spiral. The cargo types are building materials, fruit, gemstones, resources, and veggies. However, these can decay and spoil after a set period of time. You can either move cargo to your warehouse or your ship. Selling them may net you more gold depending on the distances. There's also contraband cargo, which will net you more gold. However, there are cargo inspectors in the skyways, who can detect this contraband if you get too close. If you are detected, you'll be given a limited time dialogue window with 3 options: bribe the inspector, dump the cargo, or fight. This system, as the Atmoplex describes it, sounds very similar to the cargo system found in Pirates of the Caribbean Online, footage used from the Legends of Pirates Online, a remake of the game. Essentially, you and a group of pirates would go around fighting different ships and collecting loot from them, whether that be building materials, gold, sellable gemstones, really anything, and eventually, after taking out enough of a faction's ship, the faction would pick up on what you're doing and send in a massive warship to try to take you out. Sort of similar to the contraband inspectors coming in due to you collecting more and more illegal cargo. I believe DC has also mentioned on a KI Live that he'd be interested in looking into this scrap system again and actually implementing it, so it would definitely be really cool to see, especially in the late game when your pirate's going through the whole moral development thing. There's a lot less pirating going on, so it'd be cool to see a system come into the game to really restore the feeling to Pirate 101 of it being an actual pirate game. Another potential system that can come to Pirate 101 is crafting. Crafting is insanely popular in Wizard 101, basically everyone does it, and it's also quite grindy, and grindy means money, and money means happy faces for MGI. I really don't have much to say here, but it would be interesting to see how crafting reagents would be incorporated into the Skyways. My one fear is that adding crafting ingredients in a world like Pirate 101 would make it feel cluttered, but I think King's Isle could do it well, especially seeing what they've done in the later worlds of Wizard 101. Another system that has been requested basically endlessly by the player base is fishing. Obviously, having a pirate ship, it opens up a lot more possibilities for fishing than Wizard 101 does. Imagine going out into the skyways or sailing into the voids between worlds and fishing for exotic fish at different depths and levels. Of course, it'd be a complicated system to introduce, but many pirates have fantasized about fishing trips on the small rafts you get at the start of the game, and really opening up a new avenue to explore the skyways. I personally am not really a fan of the fishing idea, as I'd worry that if not implemented correctly, it could make the skyways feel cluttered, sort of like how a lot of Wizard 101 ponds now are sort of overtaken by all the fish and sentinel shadows that you see. I'm not saying it couldn't be done well, but just based on Wizard 101's implementation of it, I'm not sure it would really fit the world of Pirate 101 as well as it could. Before we get into the next system, I'd like to quickly sell out that only 7% of my watch time comes from people who are subscribed to my channel. So if you're enjoying this video so far and you'd like to change that percent, feel free to subscribe if you want more content like this. Another system that I personally would love to see is Photomancy. Especially since I started making videos on Pirate 101, I've noticed that simply because of Photomancy, it's a whole lot easier to get footage and screenshots in Wizard 101 than it is in Pirate 101. Especially with access to a sort of free roam camera, even though it's quite restricted, it's much easier to get these cool panning shots in Wizard 101 and orbital shots than it is in Pirate 101, where you have to do the weird thing where you back up and you right click and hold the camera, and it's a whole ordeal for something that you can do in 2 clicks in Wizard 101. I'd really love to see it, especially with how well Pirate's graphics hold up today. It's definitely something I think King's Isle should pursue in the future. The last system I'll talk about today is a Bestiary. Now, Wizard 101 has one of the best bestiaries I've ever seen in a game, despite some pay-to-win flaws that I'll probably talk about in another video. Anyway, Monstrology in Wizard 101 is one of the most underrated systems out there. Essentially, the way it works in Wizard 101 is you enchant a spell with Monstrology, you can use that to capture a creature's animus and document it in your Monstrology tome. The tome's sorted by worlds, it's easy to sort through, and you get a cool bit of lore for each individual creature. Nothing that's gonna absolutely blow open the storyline, but it's cool for the lore nerds who want to really dive into it. I think this would be really cool in Pirate 101, especially with how expansive all the different enemy types in the game are. I would totally play through the entire game again and all the side quests you can do if a Monstrology-esque system were added to the game. Even something as simple as like Terraria system, where you just defeat an enemy and it gets added to your bestiary, would be amazing. It just adds so much easy replay value and so much encouragement to explore other corners of the spiral. I know plenty of endgame players who have barely touched any of the side content aside from the obvious stuff like Mu Manchu, the Obsidian key bosses, and the here and there side boss that drops importance items. With something like a Bestiary, you're actually encouraged to go out to all of those huge sprawling side storylines and not only discover more lore in the game, but extend playtime for even the most veteran of players. While I don't personally want side systems to be the main development for Pirate 101, as I personally think they should pour more assets into creating new story content, I definitely want to see them going forward, and it'd be really cool to explore some of these concepts. If you guys have any other ideas for side systems, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Especially with the pirate theme, I feel like there's a whole lot more you could do to expand on the swashbuckling experience. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe for more Pirate 101 content, and if you have any ideas for future videos I should cover, feel free to leave them in the comments below. This video was actually made because of a user request for a video on Pirate 101 fishing. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.